Zenith Collections. Please note that we record all calls for training purposes. Please choose from the following options using your telephone keypad. To use our 24-hour automated payment system, please press 1. To make a payment or speak to an operator regarding a parking charge, please press 2.
Good afternoon, Zenith Collections. Wendy speaking. Can I start with taking your name, please? Right, okay, so I can see that we've got authorisation to discuss it with you. Just bear with me. Okay. So are you calling today to make the payment on behalf of myself?
No, I'm certainly not doing that, no.
Okay. Okay, well, there's nothing further. I can see that you've already spoke to a number of my colleagues.
Can I just confirm that that's at your company, yeah? Have I spoken to somebody at your company?
It's the company, so I'm able to see everything that's on the system that's been inputted by them, so I can see that you spoke to a number of people that advised you of the process and the process that our client may take if this does get forwarded on for court action.
Yeah, sure. Can I just confirm, though, have I spoken to somebody at Zenith before?
Let's have a look.
I know I spoke to somebody relatively recently.
Yeah, you spoke to somebody called Michelle.
And that was at Zenith, yeah.
That was at Zenith, yeah.
Okay, because I think I expressly stated at that time, I mean, I've given good and adequate reason that we have an issue with this, and the reason that we wouldn't be entering a payment. I think I also expressed my concern at being contacted again by a third-party company where I've already expressed my intention not to pay you. Just let me finish, and then I'm quite prepared to listen to you. But just let me finish first. I've already expressly stated that I won't be entering into a third-party contract with anybody, and that further harassment, if you like, wouldn't go down too well, and it wouldn't involve me having to take the matter further with any relevant authorities. It would appear that that's not of interest to your company. If I do get any more correspondence in any manner, then that's the route I'll go down. But yeah, by all means, I'm quite happy to listen to your side as well now.
Okay. What we have to do for our client is we have to follow what's called pre-action protocol. Now, this pre-action protocol has to be followed because if our client chooses to take this to court, they have to show the judge that they've done everything to try and resolve this. So unfortunately, it is pre-action protocol that has to be followed. I can confirm to you that we are coming to the end of that pre-action protocol now. Once that has been followed, we will forward this on to our client's legal department with a recommendation. They put this forward to the Scottish solicitors, which is Gordon and Noble. I do have to advise you that even though it is a Scottish court, there is steps in place now where this parking company have a number of cases that are waiting to go forward to a sheriff's court. He did start the process last year, but due to the fact that the landowner on that site at that time was selling the land and didn't want the publicity, he decided not to put the cases through to court. It wasn't that the parking company, they'd been thrown out of court. It was only because the landowner was selling the land at that moment in time and decided not to forward those cases on. There is a number of cases that are with Gordon and Noble at this moment in time that are waiting to go forward for legal action. They do work alongside the Sheriff's Court. So you have been invited that if you do want to transfer liability, that is a possibility that we can do that for you. If you choose to do nothing, then unfortunately we have no other option than to continue with our collections process. And then once we've done everything that we can, we will then pass it forward to our client with a recommendation to put forward for legal proceedings, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm not too sure what you mean about transferring liability. You'll have to treat me as though I'm stupid because I didn't...
You wasn't the driver.
That's correct, yeah.
Right, so you've been invited on those occasions that we can transfer liability if the driver details are given, but you've refused to do so.
No, I'm not obliged to do so. There's a difference in law. There's no legal obligation on me to do that.
There's not.
And of course, to enforce this and to secure a judgment at court, then let me finish because I'm listening to you. So it's only fair that we do it both ways. UK Parking Control would have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that either my wife or myself were responsible and were driving at the time in question and parked the vehicle there at that time in question. Otherwise, anybody that has legal right to drive the car could have done so and could be responsible. So unless they can prove that, they have a problem, and I'd be more than happy to take that to court.
I mean, see, what they'll do is they'll obviously show the courts that they've tried to resolve this by inviting you to transfer liability, so we can obviously change this over into the driver details.
Absolutely.
They'll show the amount of times that they've invited you to do so. They'll show that each of those times that you've refused to do so. So what they will do is they could apply for what's called a Norwich Pharmacal Order.
So, sorry, what is that? And could you spell that out for me? Because I struggled to pick that up there.
Norwich.
Pharmacal.
Yeah, order.
What? How are you spelling pharmacal? It's just that I would like to look this up because I've never heard of it before.
Right, I'm not too sure myself. Just bear with me. Let me see how you spell it. Sorry.
That's all right.
I suppose it would have been a solicitor that would know about a Norwich Pharmacal Order.
No, that's absolutely fine. I mean, I'm just talking about your obligation under law to name the driver of a vehicle.
I'm not too sure how to spell a Norwich Pharmacal Order. I would presume it is something like PHA. I mean, don't quote me.
No, along the lines of pharmaceutical, that kind of thing.
I would think it was PHA. I mean, you're going to think I'm so stupid now. I presume it's PHAR. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody.
No, I wouldn't worry. I'll be able to Google that quite easily, I'm sure. I mean, it's Norwich as in the name of the city.
If they apply for what's called a Norwich Pharmacal Order, that could legally require you in a court of law to name who was driving the vehicle on the day one of those is obtained by the parking company. I do also have to inform you that if it does go forward for court action in cases in England, obviously we've had no cases at this moment in time, they're all waiting. It's a long drawn out process because it's new now than going through the Scottish system.
Yep.
In previous cases that have happened in England, the judge has taken a dim view that it has to go all the way for court action, and this order be applied for to order it to resolve it before court action is taken.
If that were the case, I'm also well aware that the only remedy that would be to come to an arrangement, which would be £1 a week or £1 a month or whatever we deemed necessary. And ultimately, in all honesty, I'm quite prepared to take that chance.
If a decree is issued, in order to stop that decree being issued, it would be the full balance that would need to be paid.
That's not
plan. With a decree being issued, you would be able to then enter a payment plan. Obviously, the courts may do an income and expenditure before they decide the amounts to be taken.
Full as regards the law, and I'm intrigued and I'm interested in how this is all going to go forward, because let's put it this way, there'll be thousands upon thousands of cases, and there'll be thousands upon thousands of people that are in the same position as me that are not about to pay for somebody else's misdemeanour. And I mean,
can you not get the driver of the vehicle to pay it for you? They've obviously done the contravention. The signage is on site. They're the ones who have entered into the contract with the parking company.
Well, they haven't entered into the contract because, I mean...
Are you aware of contract law?
Yes, I'm very aware of contract law.
Are you aware, due to the signage that's on site, when the person's parked the vehicle on that land, they've gone into a contract with the parking company?
So long as the sign's prominent. I mean, I don't know the circumstances about where exactly the vehicle was parked, and I don't know it. I don't know... with not being there at the time and date in question, I don't know how prominent the signing was at that time.
I mean, the signage on this site is all within the BPA guidelines. You deal with a lot of parking companies, and I do have to tell you that UK Parking Control are one of the best with the signs. I've got a number of clients whose signage is impeccable, and this is why they have such... Well, I mean, obviously, we're not gone through the Scottish courts as of yet. I mean, there is thousands. It would be a long process. It's not just going to happen overnight, because there is a lot of cases that are awaiting to go forward for court action. Yours could be one of those that also joins those other cases.
I'm sure it could be.
In England, due to the fact of how good the signage UK parking controls are, they do have a very good success rate, hence why UK Parking Control are one of the first parking companies now.
There is, of course,
over to Scotland and try and commence proceedings over there.
There is an enormous difference between Scots and English law, however.
I understand that totally.
And that's probably...
It's not gone through yet.
Yeah, and I suspect that's exactly why it hasn't gone through yet.
What I do have to advise you is, have you actually looked at the pictures?
Oh yeah. The picture. I mean,
You can see the sign that's just at the side of the vehicle. I mean, I can actually see that on the photograph.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately. I did see it some time ago. I do remember seeing the pictures of the car. I mean, there's no disputing it's my wife's car. There's no argument that it is. I mean, there's
I mean, there's two cars between where the sign's situated. I can clearly see the signage that's on site. So, you know, what the parking company will do, anybody can take a civil case to court, as you will know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could take one if I thought I had an argument good enough to win. So basically, when we pass it back to our client, they look at the redeeming factors that they have. Did you appeal this to the parking company?
Absolutely.
And what did they say? Let's have a look.
They invited us to pay it anyway, basically.
Let's have a look. Yeah, and they've also invited you to name the driver. What their parking company will do, if it does go to court, they will show that they invited you to name the driver. We've also invited you on a number of occasions. Debt Recovery have invited you.
There is a difference, of course, in inviting somebody and requiring them, and that's the point of law that I'm willing to argue.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's fine. I'm trying to make you aware of the fact that in similar cases that have gone to court in England, I mean, this is before the Protection of Freedoms Act came into legislation. Basically, the judge can take a dim view at the fact that, you know...
I mean, if you're wasting...
Go all the way for court action.
I agree, if you're wasting court time, sure. I mean, it still doesn't affect the fact that I wasn't driving and my wife wasn't driving at the time in question. However, you might have different obligations if that were the case.
Okay, well, thank you for your call today. Like I said, it's not that we're trying to harass you, sir. We're just following the pre-action protocol that has to be followed. Once that's been followed, we'll recommend this case on to our client.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I mean, I'll make it clear just now that obviously I won't make any more correspondence because I think we've probably exhausted all avenues between ourselves and yourselves. So don't be offended if I don't contact you for any more letters. But we'll obviously, if it goes back to the company and they want to correspond with us or anybody else does, such as a Glasgow solicitor for all it's worth to them, then we'll take steps with them.
Okay, thank you for your call today.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.